Danny, what did you make of the story that developed last week? Well, this man and I were on air, actually. The FA suddenly announced there was a hoo-ha about the semi-final, the cup semi-final between Liverpool and Manchester City not being played in the Northwest. Many fans were coming on saying, why don't they shift it? It's staring them in the face to do that. We're both from the Northwest. Why not play it up here? But no, they're playing it at Wembley. And now the FA has come in with an offer of 100 free buses for the Liverpool and Manchester City fans, because on that day the fans need help to get here because there are no trains running. I mean, you couldn't make it up. So why not move it up to the Northwest? They didn't, and now someone you know very well, Jordan Henderson, has come out speaking about it, and he's saying it would make sense, obviously, to change it to a neutral venue, especially with it being two teams from the Northwest. That's just my opinion, says Jordan. But looking at the situation as a fan, which is probably the most important thing for me, and something we've learned over the past few years, how important the fans are to football, in other words the Super League, it's really disappointing, because it's going to be a struggle for them to get there. He's right, isn't it? If he's saying it, why haven't the FA listened? If he's saying it, there's a prominent voice in football saying it should have been changed.
Yeah, I agree with him. I mean, he's been asked a question. He's answered it honestly. I mean, I think that the FA, for some, they're stuck in the mud, aren't they, in terms of their opinions sometimes. They don't. Why aren't they open-minded enough to change? They're not going to lose finance by having it at Old Trafford. The capacity is nearly the same as Wembley. Might lose a few quid, and do the right thing for once. It was an opportunity for them to get back in the good books of some people, but they don't care. They don't care. They don't care about the fans. That's simple as that. It would upset too many dignitaries and cause too much confusion for the FA to do that. It's probably a cost exercise as well that they looked at and thought we are going to lose some money if we do change it, and thought no, we won't.
They've laid out their reasons. That's precisely what they've said. They've said that the game has been arranged in this position for some time. It's steeped in this particular fashion. There's a financial reason behind it as well.
Club Wembley, the money they'll take in.
Well, we weren't so long ago talking about how many people were losing their jobs at the FA because they couldn't generate any revenue during the COVID crisis. Now, I'm not suggesting that they should be as obtuse as this. I don't know why you just don't go the whole hog. With the greatest will in the world, if you're going to put on 100 coaches, this argument was made for the press during the weekend about this dreadful thinking and how dare they not do it, and 64,000 fans. Well, there's not 64,000 fans travelling by train, so let's get it right. There were 15,000 fans travelling by train.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, if they've gone 100 coaches, I don't know why they just didn't go the whole hog, get 300 coaches, make it a logistical operation. I know there's challenges on travelling down there, but if you go to the Liverpool and Man City fans and give them a travel, say a fiver, they put a fiver contribution in if there's a financial angle to this, you've got 15,000 fans coming down. It's probably going to cost them 300 grand in travel, £1,000 a coach going back and forward. So then on the bottom line of that, you've cost 300,000 or 400,000 quid to put a game on, and then no one can argue about it. If you're going to put 100 coaches on, you might as well put 300 on.
So you're backing Jordan Henderson?
I'm backing Jordan Henderson from the point of view that the solution should have been all-embracing. Yeah. The argument has been advanced. The logistics of the Wembley game has got a challenge on it. 25% of the crowd travel by train. It's not ideal that the solution is that they need to keep it at Wembley. It's not ideal that the financial landscape for a lot of things in football, besides the players' salaries, is never affected.
Yeah, but can I just say as well with this travel thing, you're talking about 15,000 per team is what you're trying to...
No, I'm not talking about 15,000 per team. I'm talking about 15,000 fans out of the 64,000 that would travel to this game.
You think 15,000 fans from the City of Liverpool and from the City of Manchester?
No, I didn't. I said that 15,000 fans that are going to travel by train. The other 49,000 fans...
Who's plucked that number?
Because that's the statistics that have been borne out and proven by the very nature of the travel arrangements that have been done historically. It's not based upon someone whipping it out of the backside of their arse. It's been based by people looking at the science of it.
So the coaches are only going to go from Liverpool and Manchester. Your point about the coaches is fair.
No, I mean, the bottom line is... hold on, so you've got to get a train from somewhere. You've all got to go to a central point. The solution that the FA, it's not ideal. There is a logic behind moving it to the Northwest.
Yes.
Right? And in an ideal world, for whatever reason they've made their decision, which of course we know is financially based.
Yeah.
Well, isn't everything
Yeah, but it's wrong that it should be.
I think on this one, okay. I mean, look, if we change the subject a little bit and say, do I think it undervalues the final by having the semi-finals at Wembley? Yes, but that's a different debate.
And I agree with you on that.
And I don't like it, but it does. On the flip side, there's arguments for and against.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
But on this occasion, when you're talking about Man City and Liverpool, you've got the Old Trafford Stadium, which is huge. It's so simple a solution to this problem. And they just don't want to because of a few quid.
Well, I think there's a game at Old Trafford on that day, but they could move it.
Of course they could.
They could move it. I mean, Simon, do you go with the logic as well?
Simon's
that
right. You are right about the coach. If you're going to do it properly.
Yeah, I just think if you're going to go the whole hog,
Suggestion,
go the
innit?
whole hog.
Suggestion.
Right? If you're going to put 100 coaches on, you might as well put 300 coaches on.
Yeah.
You're trying to protect the financial framework. They've told you their reasons, right? Whether you like their reasons or not, they've told you the reasons, right? So here we are now with them saying we had to lay off people during the COVID crisis. We've got a 20-30 million pound hole in our finances, right? These games are factored and featured in. The commercial revenue that we generate from tickets, the commercial revenue we generate from the catering that goes into this is significant. We won't get it back elsewhere. So we are having to manage our finances the same way as everybody else is. Everyone's got back. So why would football be anything different? So if the players are so concerned, if they're so concerned about the fans,
I know what's coming here.
why don't they give up a proportion of their wages and put on a couple of hundred coaches themselves?
Yeah, good point.
Because
Is that fair? That's fair.
That'll cost about 200 grand, right? So that's one player's salary for 1
absolutely.
week. No, they won't do that. No chance of them doing that. What they'll do is their virtue signal about what everyone else should do, rather than what they could do. I'm not suggesting it's right, and you're right, there's an intransigent about it, but if the reason is steeped in finance, and the whole world turns on finance, we're looking at the budget that's been produced by Richie Sunak, everyone vilifying it because people are getting realistic about what's happened in this country. Hang on a second, we've just bankrolled furlough for the last 2 years, everyone's broke, but no one wants to pay for it. How does that work in the real world? It has to work here in football as well.
Simon, it's a fair point you make. If the players were asked, and they need to be asked, no one's going to put their hand up at City
absolutely.
or Liverpool. You know what we should fund the buses. But you're right,
They'll
Simon.
tell everyone else how to do
Well,
it.
they might do. They might do now.
Would the
They might
players,
do.
would the
Sometimes
players
it's
give it? Yeah, we'll pay for that. I think give the players the opportunity to say yes or no. They do it.
I think so.
50 players, £4,000 each.
Yeah.
Half a day.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah. There you go.
There's your solution.
Let's see a few more coaches that day, more than the 100 the FA are putting on, but let's see if the players want to finance it. I'm with you on that, Simon. Just to be clear, though, you think the final should be played at Wembley and the semi-finals elsewhere?
I've always felt that.
I do.
And I know why they're doing it, because they're trying to monetise the building of a stadium. And they felt they needed a stadium. And some people will say, what did you build a stadium for in London? Because once upon a time, the English game that's given us this unique perspective of the Premier League was leveraged by things like Wembley.
Yeah.
It gave us this unique position. That we ask people where they want to play. Ask South American footballers where they want to play at Wembley Stadium. So it has this unique value. Like some could argue about the royal family, has a unique value to some people and not to others.
But it loses its uniqueness a bit by the regularity of the games being there.
That's right. And that's why it should be played at Villa Park, at Hillsborough, like it used to be played before.
But Simon, I like that though. If the players feel very strongly that the fans are being shortchanged or inconvenienced on that day, which they are being,
wear a t-shirt. No,
Make a
don't wear a
sacrifice.
t-shirt. Make a sacrifice.
Make a sacrifice. Put your hand up and say we'll pay for the coaches.
It's a fair point. They shouldn't have to, but
And that's right too.
Yeah,
and that's right too.
It's a campaign we're now going to push right here, backed by Danny Murphy. It's at 11:15.